Hello, everybody. This is Terry with your Scorpio flower moon Mayday Beltane. First of two moons. We will have a blue moon in May, and I am so excited for this Mayday Beltane Scorpio flower moon. As a Scorpio myself, I am really feeling it. And this Mayday Beltane that we have brings that bright fire of the sun that I am just feeling right behind me. This is actually just a picture that I took last spring, maybe it was 2 springs ago, at my friend's farm out at Well Rooted Farms. If you guys are in Central Oregon, you may know that farm. I love that farm. It's a you pick flower and vegetables and fruit farm that is so amazing here in Tumalo, Oregon. So get out and pick some flowers this May Day. Flowers are such energetic uplifters. In feng shui, we use flowers as energizers, and I just got these star lilies, and I keep smelling them and getting pollen on my nose. I guess that's very May Day. And this May Day is a time that brings us to the crossroads where the winter darkness is fading away. And honestly, winter needs to be over because check this out. I make this St. John's wort tincture, as so many of you guys know, and this is how much I have left. We just have this much left of winter. We can only have maybe 3 more shots of winter before the St. John's wort tincture is gone. And then I really need winter to be over because this is my medicine that gets me through. This is for seasonal affect. You can see, I hope you can see this bright red. I might just put it right up to the camera and hope that you can see it. I know that I'm using a green screen, so it's kind of getting funky. But St. John's wort hypericum tincture really helps you get through the winter if you live somewhere cold and dark and snowy like I do. And when the St. John's wort tincture is out, that means winter needs to be over. And summer's promise of returning to the light begins on this May Day with a powerful, powerful Scorpio full moon. There are so many beautiful aspects, like a boomerang YOD, and all kinds of good omens for something really good is coming. And what if it all turns out better than we could have imagined? And what if everything we've been through has been leading us to something better? This time, this May Day, Scorpio flower full moon, this is a liminal space. Liminal space, it's the in between where we find ourselves, where the veil is thin. Scorpio, when you got Scorpio coming in this strong, the veil is always thin. That's why Scorpio rules Halloween. So the veils between the other worlds are diminishing right now, and we can really get these energetic downloads, these higher vibrational energies, but also these otherworldly beings are showing up. And this allows us to have eyes to see fairies, elves, and otherworldly beings, maybe even aliens can be seen this full moon. And you can honor the presence of all the otherworldly, other dimensional beings. Maybe it's even a butterfly or a dragonfly that shows up for you. Even if you don't necessarily believe in these otherworldly beings, and even if you don't have the eyes to see them, you can just try acknowledging them. Maybe you want to build a fairy house. I built a fairy house once with my son, and I made him such a true believer. And the funny thing is, I'll tell you, fairies are real, and I actually know some fairies in Bend. And if you've been to our health fairs, you might have met these fairies too. I really truly believe that fairies are real. I taught my son at a young age to believe in fairies, and why not just believe in magic on this May Day and this flower moon? If you do nothing else this moon, get yourself some flowers. I thought maybe I could put it here, but I don't know if it'll stay. Get yourself some flowers because it will energize you, it will lift your spirits. It will just help you find love. You can be wearing some, I have some Ylang Ylang here. I don't know if you can see it. Um, Ylang Ylang, or maybe you just want to do some. This is a beautiful Andalou rose, 1,000 rose spritzer, and you could just spritz yourself with that rose, just bringing in the magic and the energy of flowers, as you might just find love if you wear Ylang Ylang. I used to wear Ylang Ylang all the time when I was single, and I did find love. My husband still loves Ylang Ylang, if you know that perfume. I'll drop it down in the description so you can find out more about it and know what I'm talking about. But Ylang Ylang will help you find love on this Scorpio full moon, as Venus, who was underground, Venus, who was in the dark and retrograde, Venus has risen now, and you can see her just after sunset. And for me, it's in the west, and she's snuggling up with Jupiter. She's about to make that kiss with Jupiter. I'm going to talk about that later. And Venus and Jupiter come together. There is love and money afoot. So, this is really auspicious supermoon for manifesting my two favorite things, love and money. I always say when I do astrology readings, everybody wants love and money. If you have love and money in your life, you are doing really good. So, Venus has risen as the evening star, and she's now in Gemini. And then we have this Scorpio full moon, and Scorpio is this is a sexy moon, right? So this is the promise of really finding new love or rekindling your relationship in a new sexy way, and or at least just having a really fun night of romance with a stranger. I mean, this is a swipe right kind of super moon. And May Day, and traditionally May Day, Beltane, is a time when they would do hand fasting. You'd put your hands together with your partner and you'd get married by tying your hands together. Do you know this ritual? It's a beautiful pagan ritual. A lot of people still get married this way. This May Day would be an amazing day to have a wedding. And that is a service I offer, especially in spring. I do astrology charts for weddings. And I'll tell you, you don't want to get married on a waning moon. You don't want to get married on an eclipse. But a full moon Scorpio on May Day, you will have the most passionate, long-term relationship of your life. And what is better than having a truly passionate marriage that you just have that rekindled passion forever? And this is also a time when they would consider, well, hand fasting was sometimes considered a trial marriage back in the day, because when people used to be on farms, like my well-rooted farms here we're looking at, people used to have babies because those babies were going to be farm hands and they needed those workers. So you would hand fast with the love of your life, and you'd have to make a baby. If you didn't make a baby within a year and a half, you could just dissolve a hand fasted marriage just like that, because you needed to get out there and have somebody you were fertile with and you could make a baby. And it was really common on May Day to just have a little fling on that night, and find yourself a Beltane partner, perhaps, and experience the power of the male god and the feminine god coming together through guilt-free intercourse with a willing partner. And many Beltane children were conceived on May Day and born 9 months later, who were considered to be extremely blessed. And often these were really gifted childs. These were children that were blessed by the goddess and the gods of pagan world. So, get out there, just give it a whirl, just swipe right and find yourself a May Day partner on this sexy Scorpio full moon, because this full moon is coming in at a potent midpoint. This is a fertile moon where Venus is sextile Saturn. Remember, sextiles are always those harmonious aspects. We love the sextiles and trines, the harmony. And we've been under this for weeks now, but now they're really coming in strong, that Venus sextile Saturn. We can find a little more balance in our relationships, a deeper communication of our needs, and we can create new ways for our relationship to thrive, sort of win-win situations with your partner or even with your business partners. And there's just a clarity here for your love life and all your relations to just find solutions of how you can get along better. And this could even bring you to a higher love. This is a kind of soulmate connection with your twin flame. Finding, we just had today, as I'm recording this, we have Venus trine Pluto. So you bring in Pluto and Venus trining. That brings past life, twin flame, soulmate, the love of your life who feels like you've known them all your lives. That kind of energy. You can really meet somebody who you are meant to be with. It's like there's a huge destiny and fate I'm going to talk about with that boomerang yod. And so this energy, wherever Gemini and Aries shows up in your chart, get really clear about what it is you're calling in, what your heart wants. Listen to your heart. What does your heart want? And finding what you want in your existing love life with your partner, maybe asking for your needs. I know so many women do not just ask, like, hey, I need time and space. Hey, I need you to help me here. I need this to happen. Just asking for what you want or thinking about what kind of partner you want to call in. If you're single, you got to make the list. This is a good moon to make the list of everything you've ever wanted in a twin flame love soulmate. And you might just find that person magically on this full moon. And we also have this really rare boomerang yod happening when this Scorpio moon is ruling the finger of God, the hand of God. God, even if you don't believe in God, there's a higher power, a source, the universe, your angels that are calling in something incredible is going to happen. Oops, my battery died. Sorry about that little intermission, but I just got fully charged again and went and did a little earthing in my backyard. And I think we were talking about the boomerang yod. I won't have time to edit this. I'm so sorry. I'm barely going to get this out in time for the Scorpio full moon because I have been so crazy busy. And side note, I did an interesting thing in the last few months where I just didn't want to be on this timeline with all this crap about Trump and the war and the negativity and everybody's so fearful. And really, that's all just part of the nine-star key, that one water star that I did a whole report on for 2026. We are seeds underground, under snow. And you have to protect your energy when you're a seed underground, under snow, and you're germinating. And so I just decided I cannot take this energy when I'm germinating my seed of potential for the next 9 year cycle, as we all collectively are. And I just tuned out. I know friends I think I'm a Pollyanna because I go, oh, no, I'm not watching the news. I don't know what's happening. And I am just doing my own timeline, which is a high vibe timeline. And I am manifesting. And all of a sudden, my business, which was kind of slumping, just boomed. And I started manifesting all these things I've been trying to manifest for years. So I invite you on this rare boomerang yod to take a chance on shifting your timeline. This is quantum energy where we could just shift our timeline and have a completely different reality because this Scorpio moon is ruling the finger of God. The Scorpio is ruling the finger of God. I'm going to say it again. It's bringing us these fated outcomes wherever Saturn in Aries, Venus in Gemini, and Taurus Sun are in your chart. Leave it in the comments and I will try to figure out what destiny transformation is brewing for you for this whole next year. It is time for us to complete our mission on earth, to become who we're meant to be. This has been our homework assignment for like 2 years, but really we got to do it now. We just got to do a quick quantum timeline leap to really manifest. And this moon is going to come with some big soul lessons with our karmic teacher Saturn in Aries is asking us to begin again. If you have failed, just begin again. If it hasn't worked out, just begin again. If your relationship has had some problems, try again. Maybe you can still restore your relationship. And I saw another astrologer say, this Scorpio moon it's not a manifesting moon. This is Scorpio is all about burning it all down this moon and destroying everything. And okay, that really triggered my Scorpio. I am a Scorpio with a whole stellium of planets in Scorpio. I married a man with a Scorpio rising. I have a lot of Scorpio friends. I am deeply entrenched in Scorpio. And yes, Scorpio, we absolutely can burn it all down when necessary. But let me tell you, that is not this moon. This truly is a manifesting moon. This is a once in a lifetime manifestation potential with this boomerang yod. There will be lessons as we manifest, but Scorpio is an incredibly manifesting sign. And if you think about the houses that we're on, the axis we're on is Taurus, Scorpio, right? Taurus, second house of wealth. Who wants wealth this full moon? Because we've got Taurus sun, part of this boomerang yod saying you can have the wealth, you can step into a place of attainment for financial rewards. And Scorpio rules the eighth house of sex, death, and money. Preferably, I'll take the sex and the money. I'm gonna pass on the death if that's okay, just like you're taking an order at a restaurant. But yeah, we're probably gonna have like sex death, and you could use sex magic to make money. But Scorpio is all about manifesting money, and Taurus is all about manifesting wealth. How is this not a manifesting moon? And I just think that Scorpio gets such a bad rap, and people, other signs, maybe they don't understand Scorpio, but absolutely you can manifest with this boomerang. And with you could definitely manifest. And with Venus coming in so strong, Venus in Gemini says, if there's love in the dream, it will absolutely come true. You got to do what your heart wants, though. You got to tap in to what your heart wants, and you will be able to manifest your heart's desire with this boomerang yod. And but there can be some, Scorpio is a very transformative energy. And when you've got Saturn involved, it can be a lot of intensity. And it can also show up as a kind of healing crisis or something you need to work on. Maybe you need to clear an energetic block before you can manifest. Maybe you just need to clean out your closet. Maybe you need to declutter. Maybe you need to get an energy clearing or some Reiki. And I'm seeing this show up for a lot of people I know as a healing crisis, or perhaps even some kind of diagnosis that's really making you look at your life and what is really important, because nothing like mortality to make you think, what do I really want to manifest? And no one here gets out alive, as Jim Morrison said. So perhaps there is a prognosis that becomes a wake-up call to start really living on this moon. And we just have so many incidents of brain cancer happening to people in Bend, Oregon. And I would love to know if you have that where you're living, if you're not living in Bend, because it has got to be environmental, or it's glyphosate, or it's our phones, or the 5G, or something. Something is causing. I have about 5 friends right now who are struggling that I'm giving Reiki to and I'm seeing for massage who are going through a healing crisis. So there can be a healing crisis, but I don't think this is a burn it all down kind of moon. I think you can absolutely manifest, as we will be sort of thrust into situations that will pull out our greatness. That's what a yod does. A yod is this potent energy, the hand of God saying, I want you to be bigger. And so sometimes it does come from a challenge, but this isn't a square. Don't worry. There's not that kind of obstacle challenge. Like there's no squares here, and that is good news. And you definitely can manifest under a boomerang yod. Anything is possible. What if it turns out even better than you could imagine kind of energy? Of course, this is a manifesting moon. And there's going to be something just tugging on our heartstrings that is a call to surrender to the process, moon, and just allow your life to look completely different from this point on. But I ask you not to be future tripping. You don't need to be worrying about what's going to happen. It's not that kind of energy. So don't future trip about what's going to happen next. Use this yod because it's this predestined, you're not even in control of the outcome. So you got to let go of the reins and surrender to spirit, to the higher power, to God, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And you got to tap into this higher power this month and connect to source. Go outside, do some earthing as I just did with my power. If your battery goes out, that's a sign from a higher power saying you need to go out and do a little earthing. Get out into nature. And Sun in Taurus is the anchor for this yod, okay? Yods are like a kite. So it's like you're on a kite and it's like the sun in Taurus is holding the reels to say how much you're going to let out for the wind. There's a big element of wind in this moon that I'm going to talk about when I talk about the Ayurvedic aspects of this moon. But we're just on a kite and we're being blown, and the winds of change are taking us in a direction. So we can't control it no more than you can control a kite on a windy day. But the sun in Taurus is the anchor. It's the person who's letting out the string or pulling back the string. And Sun in Taurus, I just want to show these right now. So we got Sun in Taurus, we've got Saturn in Aries, we've got Venus in Gemini, and the Scorpio full moon. Scorpio full moon is the change maker. Scorpio full moon is saying you got to make a change. It's not a burn it down change, it's a tap into your heart. Get grounded, get rooted. Use that sun in Taurus to really ground yourself and then allow the change to come over you. Allow the winds of change to carry the kite, right? And these guys are all traveling together beautifully. But the sun in Taurus is the anchor and is really determining how the winds, how we release the string or pull it back as the wind is blowing us. So sun in Taurus says, get rooted in the earth. Taurus is that earth sign, and just relax and get out into nature. Stop and smell the roses. Get into a more meditative state on this full moon. If you can take Friday off and just tap into the energy, maybe go to the beach, lay in the sun, feel the earth beneath you, supporting you. This is a time to get into that meditative state because this yod, it all begins within, and your thoughts will be creating your reality, and your energy vibration will put you on the right timeline to get to your destiny. And the only way out at this point is in. You got to go inward. This is an inward journey. That is my mantra for this Scorpio full moon, that the only way out is in. Go within and stop chasing those external solutions to your problems. All the solutions are found within when you just take a deep breath and bring your focus back in. What does your body need today? How is your energy doing? What kind of food do you need? Taurus loves food. If you know a Taurus, I say Taurus are the kind of people who get hangry, and all you got to do is feed them. So maybe you're feeling hangry. You just got to eat. You got to nourish yourself. You got to do some self-care. You got to heal or heal thyself. And maybe you just want to listen to some music. I've been listening to some old, like 1960s cool jazz lately, and it just puts me in such a good mood. Music puts you in that good mood, and then your vibration raises higher, and then good things show up for you. That's how we manifest with Scorpio and Taurus. So we're not chasing external problems or solutions. We're going within. We're fixing our own energetic frequency on this full moon. And it's time to just find that inner happiness right here, right now, smelling the roses and being grateful for this moment because it might just be all we have right now. So be receptive and get into that high vibe and just see what shows up for you this full moon. It's about bringing in that higher vibrational energy that wants you to just relax and receive, just holding out your hands like a small child to the universe, to the yod, to the gods, to source, the higher power. You can really just allow it, get into that allowing mode because there's nothing you need to do to manifest with this energy. Just open yourself up like that flower that blooms. Look at this flower. That flower just opens itself up to the light of the sun and the golden rays and all the abundance that surrounds us in nature. Nature is so truly abundant. And just let that sun shine its divine light and receive the blessings that are desperately trying to find you right now. And this Scorpio moon can be a huge life altering shift. And we haven't even talked about the massive shift we're all collectively going through with Uranus and Gemini on April 25th. Uranus entered Gemini, bringing us a technological revolution. Whew, what is going to happen next? Uranus rules over Aquarius, so it's a lot of like really creative technology and advancements in AI and robots. And one of the last times Uranus was in Gemini was in the 40s when we had World War II with all the Nazis, and that is just sounding scary familiar right now as we have this fascist dictator in charge. So hopefully we will find a greater peace to this Uranus in Gemini than they had in the 40s. And I'm just happy as a Scorpio to report that all the crazy, unexpected life challenges that have happened for the fixed signs. I've been talking about this for, is it 8 years that Uranus stays in a sign? For the last 8 years, the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, if you're one of those signs, you've had Uranus in Taurus affecting us, and that is over now. It's over. Your spiritual awakening is complete, and you've passed your karmic tests. Maybe you had that quantum leap Oprah aha moment, that breakthrough that is so Uranus. Maybe you were set on a brand new trajectory. I know for sure I was. And Uranus won't be bothering us with those existential crises anymore. And those moments of shocking, unexpected events and all the weird stuff that wherever that Uranus and Taurus was. For me, my Uranus and Taurus transit went right over my 10th house, opposing my sun. I did not like that. So now Uranus has moved on to Gemini and it will be in the mutable signs. Get ready, guys. If you are a Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, you are about to face your great awakening. Whew. It comes with all kinds of turbulence. It's a roller coaster ride. And this is a Uranus return for Trump. I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this for about 4 years, it feels like. A once in a lifetime, every year transit. When Uranus returns to the place it was in 1946 when Trump was born, Uranus is going right over that. This is going to bring disruption, chaos, and it usually leads to retirement. Most people retire in their 80s. And it seems like when Uranus crosses, comes back, returns to the place it was, it's time to retire. And I think some of us would really love it if Trump retired. I'm going to cross my fingers here. Maybe Trump will retire in some way. With Uranus, it's always unpredictable, though. You cannot predict Uranus. So I have so many friends, so many people ask me, do you think Trump's going to die? And I can only say, we are about to see some unexpected shifts for Trump. He is in a process of awakening. And when I do astrology, it honestly makes me feel so compassionate. I'm even compassionate to my enemies. I go, oh, well, that's just because they have their Uranus return that all that's going on. And I don't really harbor any deep anger, resentment, or things that a lot of people are so mad at Trump. And I tell you, when you get so mad at somebody, you're actually, I've had this before with enemies. When you get so mad at your enemies, you're actually giving them your energy. Do you want to give your energy to Trump? Don't be mad about Trump. Just be neutral. When you're neutral, you're like, you don't get any of my energy. I don't care enough about Trump to even give him my anger, or I'm just not that mad. I'm neutral. I'm like, let's see what's going to happen here. This is probably serving some divine purpose that all this is going on. I can't see it now, but hopefully we'll see it later. And Uranus return always affects people's communication and reputation. So he's going to have some fierce rivals who are trying to take him out. And that's probably why, people are shooting at him. And he will have massive career shifts and personal life trauma and drama. I believe this is hitting him in his 11th house of friendship. So it's like, you can't trust your friends. And I think that's probably true. And get yourself a big bowl of popcorn and just enjoy the show. Just watch it from a neutral perspective. Don't get energetically involved in it. Just have that bowl of popcorn and be like, wow, what is going to happen next? That's how I'm looking at it. There's nothing we can really do about any of it. So once again, this finger of God, this boomerang yod is just saying, surrender to the process. Just allow, just see what shows up. That's interesting, with a neutral vibe. And really get outside this month, this May. We have some beautiful Venus and Jupiter getting closer every night before they come together soon in their kiss. When Venus and Jupiter come together once a year, it's such a lucky day. I think it's June 8th that they come together. And right now you can see Antares, the heart of the Scorpio, and that is lighting up. And we have some incredible meteors showers coming this May, and Mars and Saturn are shining so bright in the early morning. I just need a telescope. Somebody buy me a telescope, or if there's a telescope company, just give me one. They're so expensive. But we need a telescope and a darker sky because we can also see the Milky Way this month, really shining bright. And Spica star is really visible, the brightest blue Spica star. So go out at night and in the early mornings and check it all out. And like I said, in Ayurvedic astrology, this moon is Swati, which is symbolized by the seeds being carried by the wind. So we have our seed of intention. We make sure that our heart is on board. There's love in the dream. We place our intention on these seeds, and then we just let the wind take them. We just scatter our seeds of intention into the wind and let them just go off. They're just riding into the wind, for the right time and the right place, they will sprout and they will grow, and eventually your wishes will bloom, just like this flower moon. And this ties in well with that 9 star key that we're collectively traveling through. I did that whole report about the seed underground germinating. This moon is about slow internal growth. And so maybe you think Scorpio is not a manifesting moon. Scorpios, we manifest differently. Scorpios are incredibly patient. We will have an idea and we will sit with it. We will obsess about it. We will hold on to it. We are not giving up. And so it might not be how, I don't know, other signs manifest, but there's this internal shift as we sit as a seed in the darkness, but we can envision something better. We can envision the world we want to see. We can just plant our seeds and know we're going to bloom like a flower. And it might not come till next year's Scorpio flower moon or 10 years from now, but we got time and we'll just wait patiently. This is about patience. So let's look at the Sabian symbol for the Scorpio 11 degrees, which is so close to my whole stellium. This moon will cross my sun at 15 degrees, my Venus and Jupiter conjunction at 16 degrees, and my Mercury at 17 degrees, and then my Neptune. I've got all these planets lined up in Scorpio, and I will be feeling this moon pass right over my Scorpio stellium in my fourth house of home. I'm just going to be at home doing massage that day. So even if you think Scorpio is about burn it all down, I hope you will try to embody these Scorpio superpowers for manifesting, or at least, go out and get some sex because we rule over sex, death, and money. If you could just stay alive, get some sex, get some money, you will be really manifesting in the Scorpio way. And I'd love to know how many Scorpios are here because I think I attract mostly Scorpios. No one else can handle me, but I have so many Scorpio friends. Okay, anyways, the Sabian symbol is 11 degrees. A drowning man is being rescued, and the deep concern for the social group, for the safety of individuals. Boy, we could see some spring floods, right? I hope nobody drowns. This symbol reveals an experience of the person who carelessly perhaps ventured too far out beyond his depth and then was given a second chance to live. One man risks his life to save another. This is love based on a sense of responsibility produced by a vivid sense of interrelatedness. Sustained by love, the individual may be more secure in venturing forth, but the assurance can also lead to unwarranted daring. This spontaneous act of rescue performed by chance, this humanitarianism displays deep cultural roots. It shows our togetherness. We have a togetherness this moon. And I just like to read the next symbol to see what we're going into. And I thought, ooh, this next symbol really resonates. Remember, these Sabian symbols were intuited by Elsie Wheeler, and then they were put in a book by Dane Rudyard. Of course, the man gets the credit. Dane Rudyard gets the credit because he took a woman's writings and put it in a book. But I really like to credit Elsie Wheeler is the one who did these. And she is so intuitive. And this phase 222, Scorpio 12 degrees, really talks about what is going on right now. There is an official embassy ball. Here we are talking about a ballroom, and the keynote is group consciousness as it flowers on this flower moon. Group consciousness as it flowers at the highest level in cultural interchanges between representatives of the elite ruling class. At present, the largest unit of social organization is one's nation. And the symbol pictures the ruling class as such national wholes displaying superficial forms of concern for establishing permanent relationships in peaceful cooperation. What is evoked here is the value of meeting people at the highest possible level of interplay, like being fully dressed up for a big embassy ball rather than an everyday type of consciousness. In contrast to the natural spontaneity of the rescue that we just saw, here we have a ritual display of power, prestige, and wealth, all dressed up for an embassy ball. Relationship has been made hierarchical and institutionalized. Phase 222 tells us this too is an essential feature in the development of rhythmic give and take to achieve our ultimate goal of global peace. Well, just let that sink in and resonate for a little bit. And I hope you have the most magical Scorpio full moon from one Scorpio to you saying, this is a manifesting moon. There's no need to burn it all down. And I will definitely see you next time.